Rutherford. I do outreach voluntary work on Mitesfield Estate, Mitesfield North Youth Forum. What I'd like to say is I like to stand up for young people. I've been youth working since the age of 16. I started way back when. And in Brixton, in Lambeth, childcare, all different aspects of working with children. And I've come a long way, and I'm an ex-Lambeth employee also. Worked in Lambeth on the youth and playground, youth centres and playgrounds, all aspects, mainstream and special needs. When you look at, you've got a lot of systems, the green paper is always changing. Right, you get education, you get inclusion. You get different systems coming in. Young people, they have to manage these changes every time it comes in. All right, there's a format, a strategy plan, what agenda, what's set up for them. There's one loophole. I think it was. I've seen it mentioned in some time ago on the TV. I think it was a parliamentary talk about apprenticeship skills. You know, why did they get rid of that? I remember my brothers, their friends, my school college used to come home with the tables, what they made, a little chair, things what they've put aside, and they brought the computer in. Not everybody's into the internet, not everyone's into technology, you know, that some people are into hands-on, you know, manual things, making things with their hands. They've lost that out of the system. Then you've got the changes with, you know, I know safeguarding children, child protection is an issue. And you do have to safeguard children. That is one of my key aspects. But at the same time, taking a big role from the parents again, you know, saying that we've got the responsibility of the children. It's in the Children's Act as well, but we know we're responsible for the child. We bore them. Just saying that, you know, everything they do is being reported to that, it's being reported to that, and then when there's a problem, it's all your fault. You're the parent. You did it. You know, you can't be doing that. All right, judgmental and biased. Then. My next point, the riots, all right? I was around when I experienced the 1980s riots, the early one, 81, and the 85, there's two. And then looking at it again, someone said to me, when the Brixton riot, when it was the top, there's gonna be a riot in Brixton. I said, no way, we've got Splash that day. Thanks to Ross. We've got Splash Day, it's gonna be a fantastic day. I was there down at Splash, and it was a lovely atmosphere. And I just didn't want to see nothing. We've come a long way in Brixton. It's a long, long journey. We've been Lord Scarman report, and we've come a long journey. And we was just praying. My daughter and I, we walked around Brixton, and we was just saying, there can't be a riot, there can't be. And I went into total shock when I saw it on the TV. When I look back, when I got in hold of people, you know what some of our young people who are involved in gangs were putting on their internet, they were saying, why mash up Brixton after we come all this way? So yeah? Mash up Brixton after we've come. So it's not all the young people. I don't like people blaming young people, putting them in this category when it's only them. I've got friends who live in Brixton, and they said they saw vans being pulled up, cars being pulled up with old greyback people getting out, going down to Curry's, yeah? So it's not all about the young people. There's bad influences, that bad role modelling. When you stand up as a positive role model in your community, all right, people, all right, appreciate that. Young people appreciate that. If you give them a chance to voice their opinion, we do, as you said, we do need a lot more youth forums. We've got the Mitesfield North Youth Forum. They're not properly represented, but we're still there. We're hanging on, all right? There's people trying to keep us down, but by the grace of God, we're going to keep bopping up, all right? But we do need a lot more youth forums, and we need a lead one, like a Lambeth Youth Forum, yeah? We know we've got the Youth Council, but we need a Lambeth Youth Forum where all these youth forums can connect to. All right, then. Sorry.
I heard you say something about parents a while ago. And parents is not to blame. The government take all of our responsibility from us. And from the time they take our responsibility from us, every time it is something go wrong, the parents get the blame. We can do only so much for our children. And nobody wants to know that their children is in trouble.
I'm a young mum. I've been a mum since I was 16, and I've got a little boy. And I think one of the problems that I find with bringing him up is schools. If you've got a job and you're working 9 to 5, or if you've got a retail job, because I went to Marks and Spencer's for 6 months and I couldn't do it because he started playing up at school. And I used to read him bedtime stories before I got that job, and I couldn't do it while I was working. I used to come home at like 9 o'clock and I wouldn't see him. And then, so you don't have that kind of like input in their life. It's all down to the schools. And then you've got a teacher who's not listening to you, not listening to your child. They're just following the national curriculum. It stops their kind of like confidence because they kind of like, my son said to me, he's like, I don't really want to go to school, I don't like my teacher, I don't like my head teacher. And I think for an 8-year-old, that's very worrying. If you think about that's the future stop and search victim for you kind of thing, then it starts from, you know, a young age kind of thing. And my son's really smart, and I'm smart too. But so he's not going to end up like that. I'll make sure. And I don't have a retail job for that reason. I'm self-employed, and I do about 3 jobs. Because I spoke to the head of Trident, and Helen. Yeah, I interviewed her about the gun campaign that you guys created and stuff, and he was really proud of. I thought it was shit, and I told her that because I'm a photographer, and I analysed the picture. If you think of like most people who pass you arrest, half of them can't even read, so. You know, like how they're going to read the small print that says, you know, you get 5 to 10 years. All they're going to see is the gun, and it's a picture. It's like, ooh, gun. My son actually said, look, mummy, there's a gun, kind of thing. That's all they're seeing. They're not getting the message.
My name is Mark Gentles. I'm a housing support worker. I work with young people between the ages of 16 and 21 with complex needs. When the riots went on, I made it a point to sit them down in my office and make them watch the riots. Told them, don't go up there because you could get arrested. Asked, do they know why they're rioting? I had one said he doesn't care. I had one said, I said, it's in regards to Mark Duggan. He said, who's he? The police and young people have no relationship whatsoever. Me, doing that job, personally I don't have any faith in the police. I've been stopped and searched so many times. I've been told I look like a drug dealer. Yet, I get up, crack a dawn, and work very hard. Understand? It just makes me really angry when I see the Stephen Lawrence case, the Mark Duggan case, the plenty of cases before, and nothing's ever done. Yet we have these talks, and nothing ever gets done. I do appreciate everything being put on and this happening because it is important, it is a stepping stone. Hopefully something can be done, but as long as you got institutionalized racism, poverty, and racial profiling, I know that black males are 10 times yet to be stopped more than their white counterparts. Yeah, and I also know that you guys have stats that you need to adhere to when you need arrest stats. It's not right, and something needs to be done about it, man. People dying, people don't have a fair chance, and it's not right. That's all I have to say.
I accept the fact there's a lot more we can do. There is a lot more engagement with young people we need to do. And I think things such as this help as well for more officers to get involved, because yes, you're absolutely right. The other thing as well, you know, they weren't all young people involved. There was only 25% of those were under the age of 18. So yes, there's a long, long way to go. There's a lot more that we can do. Engaging, listening, and speaking to young people. Perceptions as well. Stop and search, we'll come on to that. But also, I'm a parent myself, and I want to make absolutely clear, I'm not saying put things down to parenting. Let me make absolutely clear about that. I just want to make that point absolutely clear. Stop and search is important, but what's more important is the manner in which it's conducted. And I am aware, and I stand here and I say, I accept that there are some stop and searches which conducted. And certainly, if I was a young person being stopped and searched, and that young lady that sat next to me showed me that slip of paper and there's no reason or grounds and still lies, I want to know why it was being done, or the gentleman that just spoke before me. So it is important. It's important how we use it and how we conduct it and how we carry it out, because every interaction we have, and again, it's about young people with anyone, is very, very important, and it can leave such an impression on that person's mind, etc. And here we are. It is important to engage, and that word engaging is so important. It's not just sitting and talking; it's listening, and then it's doing something afterwards. That is the most important thing at all. And so much work can be undone as well. I just want to talk you through something which is why I think stop and search is important. I'll explain from my perspective. And I'll begin to say that on Lambeth Borough so far this year, since the 1st of April, we've actually had a 30% increase in what's called knife-enabled crime. Crimes where a knife is seen and somebody said they've got a knife. That is high. That is high, 30% increase. How do we stop that? Well, first of all, the person that carries the knife, it's their choice. They're going to go out there and carry a knife. And it's true, statistics say if you carry a knife, true, you're more likely to become a victim yourself as well. Or use it and spend a long time in jail. So step one, the individual carrying the knife. Changing the mindset, finding a way not to do it. Step two, that person will not listen, or that person will continue. Step two, there's people around that individual to tell them, to talk to them and say, look, don't, why you carry that knife? Why? After that, between carrying the knife, leaving the home, not listening, nothing's happened, to what? The journey and using that knife, what else is there? There's one thing, stop and search. It is. It's important that we do have that power and the law to use it. But it's not just knives, I know, drugs, stolen property, a host of other, and Section 60 as well, which needs to be explained clearly to individuals so they know what it is and how it's used as well, which I can go into more detail. But it certainly is important power. But like I said, it's how we go about and use that, and the impact it can have on the community and alienating certain members of the community as well. It's something we need to work on. The CPCG have done some fantastic work on that and continue to do that and call the police to account and feed back to us. But it is very important. But it is an important power that we do need to use in the town.
Can I say that I think people only use knives and guns because they don't know how to punch and kick anymore. So like, if you're a young person in like private school, karate, martial arts is part of your education, but in state schools it's not. So if your parents don't know how to punch and kick and stuff like that, then you're going to pick up a weapon, aren't you? And also there's this whole I have to be beautiful culture, and like I don't want to walk around with a black eye or a boxy leg or anything because it doesn't look right. So if you're using a weapon, then you're gonna eliminate that whole perception. I mean, if you get arrested and you've got like a cut or a bruise, it's like, oh, where did you get that cut from, kind of thing. So it's kind of like I guess it's a deterrent as well to stop from getting arrested. So, yeah.